Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech so honest, it hurts. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back again. Hey, what do we got to talk about today? We got to talk about this. But first, let's recap the last few weeks, or few months even, just to see where we are. Now, in October, Apple reached its highest point, a $1 trillion valuation. Since that time, what we have seen is Apple losing 30% of that valuation in less than 3 months. And forecasts for earnings going down, and people generally losing their minds. So, you would think that the first leak of the new iPhone for 2019 would be something to celebrate. Yeah, this is Apple going to be back on track. But instead we get this. This. See that? What the? 3 cameras, a big old LED flash, and what looks like either a microphone or a sensor. It's entirely impossible to tell. Now, leaks come and leaks go, and the reliability of such is questionable at best. And this is 9 months out from the release of the 2019 iPhone, so we could be skeptical about this and not be unreasonable. This leak was put forward by a leaker named OnLeaks. OnLeaks seems to be one of the more reliable leakers at this point. They accurately predicted, leaked the design of the new iPads. So, I mean, they look exactly like what OnLeaks leaked. Right? OnLeaks leaked exactly what the iPads were. So we have to give credit where credit is due. We don't know if this is the same kind of deal. However, what we do know is that thing is freaking ugly. And we found out other things too. We found out things like Apple is going to stick with the notch through 2019, and then in 2020 they may be going to the little hole in the screen, which is annoying. But this coming year's iPhones are going to be just like last year's iPhones, only with a giant cancer on the back of the phone. This guy? Yeah. That is supposedly a 3D camera, something produced by possibly Sony, who is ramping up their production of 3D cameras to meet Apple's needs. Now, why do we need a 3D camera? Well, for 3D rendering, for one thing, and I think it also helps focus. I am not a camera expert, and this is a fictional, mythical camera at this point, so we don't really know. But I gotta ask myself, not only was this leaked by OnLeaks, but then another leaker, Ice Universe, confirmed the leak as indeed correct to the information that they have. What do we have to say about this? We've already covered the fact that Apple is in trouble. We've covered that ad nauseum. I'm not going to go back into that. With that coverage, it's been clear that people aren't willing to pay the upscale prices that Apple is asking for the XS and the XS Max, and they're opting to stick with the devices that they already have. You tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that a third camera on the back and a giant friggin' mole of a camera hump back there is going to make people be like, oh, well, now it's worth it. And the reports do say that the current pricing model is, at least at this point, likely to be still intact. It also looks like we have a glass back here. It also looks like we're keeping the same form factor. There will be a 10 or an X model and an X Max model of what people are now calling the iPhone 11. I'm just going to call it the 2019 iPhone. So here's the thing that sticks in my craw, right there. if this is in fact what Apple's going to release this year, then Apple, they're in the bowl, it's spinning, and they're like swimming toward the sewage. Because nobody cares if there's a third camera. Nobody cares. The only people that care are the 1% of people, maybe 5% of people that are serious about taking photos and taking video, and they make up such a minuscule part of the market. The majority of the market, the people who Apple wants to buy their phones or needs to buy their phones, are people who just want to take a picture. They want the camera to open up, and they want to take a picture. If it takes a better picture than the previous iPhone, that's cool. Since the iPhone or the iPhone 6S, we've had photos coming out of the iPhones that look really good. And yes, year upon year, we have improvements to those photos, to those cameras. But at this point, it's well established that iPhones take great photos. So taking the giant square from the back of Huawei's P20 and sticking it in the corner of your device is not going to solve the problems that you now clearly have, Apple. You can't sell your current phones. So you need to step back and ask yourself, what's more important in the recent information that we've received from our customers? Is it better features, more camera stuff, blah, 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 or is it the price? Now, if you're going to stick this camera array on here and then you're going to charge us the same prices or maybe even more, you have completely jumped the shark. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Do you think if this is what the iPhone 11 or the 2019 iPhone looks like, is it going to be something that you want? See, that's the problem about asking people who watch these YouTube videos. They are part of that group of people who care so much about smartphones that they will watch YouTube videos about smartphones. And the thing is, like, I think that we might care, but other people might not. Just let me know down in the comments. Do you think Apple is making a good choice if this is in fact the direction they're going? Do you think they're doomed if they don't lower prices? I just think this leak coming out at this moment, when Apple is in such dire straits in terms of their finances and in need of restructuring how they have their business working in order to not rely on iPhones so much, to double down on something like a third camera that's going to make the camera bump even bigger, etc., etc. Who knows? A lot of things can happen between now and 9 months from now when the new iPhones are announced. But the people who are leaking these things are people who have a good track record of leaking things. And they have information that basically says this year's iPhone is going to just be a doubling down on last year's iPhones. And if that's in fact the case, then I really worry for the future of Apple. Not that I wasn't already worried in the first place. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Thank you once again for being here. If this was your first time here, you want to come on back, you want to see more of this kind of stuff, I'm going to follow this story and just about every other Apple story that's out there. Then you can click this like button for this video, subscribe button, and the bell notify, and do all those kinds of things. Come on back now and see me. If you've been here before, well, 2018 was an amazing year, and we're going to have another amazing year here in 2019. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Again, my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech, so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.